Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leadership Evolution. This is the place where I hope to spend time with you as leaders because I really want to help you and myself and everybody else, for that matter, grow into their full potential. Today, we're going to talk about how to be clear and direct as a leader. I believe with all my heart that you, as a leader, have ideas and observations, opinions and feelings that you simply must get out there. If you don't put them out there, if you're not direct with them, then we suffer. And I say we, I mean our world suffers when you don't share your genius, when you don't share your experiences and your expertise, when you don't learn to be clear and direct as a leader, we pay the price. Now, I think you pay the price also because you will not live up to your fullest potential as a leader until you've learned to get clear within yourself about what's going on, and until you've learned to be direct with everybody else about what it is that you're thinking or feeling. Getting clear means that you're aware that you have opinions, for example, that come to you when you notice a situation. And even though you have an opinion, you're not married to it. It's your opinion, so yes, you believe it, but you don't have to be right about that. And so getting clear about, yes, this is what I think, this is what I think should be done, this is what I think is the best path forward. At the same time, I'm open to the fact that I could be completely wrong about that. And just getting clarity about that opinion, getting clarity about the feelings that come to you, and knowing that in this moment, I'm feeling angry. Just being clear about the fact that you're feeling angry right now will keep you from reacting to the anger that's inside of you. So getting clarity within yourself is so important as a leader. After you've gained clarity about your beliefs, your opinions, your thoughts, your feelings, and those things inside of yourself, then you can be direct, and I'm hoping that you will be direct with everybody else. Being direct means that we say what we think and feel to the person who needs to hear it. For example, being direct is laying out your expectations and your deadlines for an employee. Not being direct would be calling a meeting of all of your employees and talking about your expectations and your deadlines, hoping that the person that needs to hear it gets it. Now, I'm going to raise my hand and let you know that I've been guilty of this. I didn't want to go to the person and make a big deal out of it. Well, I actually thought they were going to make a big deal out of it. And so instead, I called a meeting of all my employees and told them my expectations and deadline, hoping that the troublemaker, the person that I should have talked to in the first place, hoping that they would get it. That's not being direct. Another example of being direct would be noticing a coworker who isn't pulling their own weight and going to the person and sharing how you feel about that. Not being direct would be noticing a coworker that isn't pulling their own weight and going to everybody else to complain and to gossip about that. Being direct is voicing your opinion in a meeting. Not being direct would be withholding your opinion because it seems like everyone else is thinking differently about the topic. Now, there are some traps that you can fall into that will keep you from being clear and direct. These traps will keep you mired in leadership that is not effective. So don't fall into any of these traps. Let me give you 3 of them. Trap number 1, you are afraid, so you resort to politics. Now, let's talk about your fear for a minute. You might be afraid of disagreement, of confrontation, of a lack of connection, or maybe a lack of camaraderie with the people around you. And so because you have that fear going on inside of you, you resort to politics. Politics is choosing our words and our actions based on how we want people to react, instead of using our words and our actions to express how we really feel or what we really think. So for example, I want my boss to like me, so I'm not going to rock the boat. And what's going on there is you've got a fear inside of you that's causing you to be political. And that leads to you being wishy-washy or timid. And friends, you're not politicians, you're a leader. Now, if you happen to be a politician and watching this, there is a way that you can lead with integrity and not use politics as a way to get around what you really think and feel, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother video for a whole nother time. If you're interested in that though, put it in the comments below, and I'd be glad to put a video out about that. But for most of us, we're not politicians, we're leaders. And so we should not use politics, this whole idea of using my words and my actions in order to get a response from somebody else and trying to control a situation that we shouldn't be controlling. So instead, get clear about what's going on inside of you. If you fear disagreement or confrontation, or if you're afraid of the disconnection that might happen if you talk to somebody directly about something, acknowledge that. Look inside yourself and acknowledge that you have that fear. When you acknowledge that you have the fear, you're doing exactly that. You're saying to yourself that I hold the fear doesn't hold me. And so instead of the fear driving you to unconsciously be political, now you can say, I'm afraid, that's okay, I accept myself for that, let the fear do what it does, let it come, let it go. And now you can be intentional with how you behave towards other people, which in this case is being direct with them. I'll post a link to the video that I did a while ago about how you can feel your feelings. And I hope that will help you to get clear about what's going on inside of you so that you can be direct and clear with everybody else. So trap number 1 is allowing your fear to push you into being political. Another trap that you can fall into is, I have to be right, and so therefore I am defensive and combative. Now these days, a buzzword is my truth. I'm just going to tell you my truth. A lot of times, it's been my experience that a lot of times when somebody uses the term my truth, what they're saying is, I have something that I believe and I'm so attached to it that I have to be right about it, and you can't argue with me because that's my truth. That aside for a minute, I just want you to know that as a leader, you cannot operate like that. You cannot go into a meeting or into a conversation thinking that you have the answer and that you know you're right, and so you're going to fight and be combative in order to be right. You will lose your followers and you will lose your influence if you behave that way. It's a trap that a lot of people get mired in. When you have to be right about something, then of course you have to be defensive because other people are going to have other opinions. And if you have to be right, that means they have to be wrong. And now it's combat, it's conflict. And you don't want that for yourself. And so don't let yourself fall into that trap. Instead, gain clarity within yourself about this thought, about this belief, about this opinion that you have. So a belief, a thought, or an opinion is just like a feeling. It comes, it goes, it's there. It doesn't own you. You own it. So question it. Of course you think you're right about it, otherwise you wouldn't have the thought in the first place. But question the fact that you think you have to be right about it. Explore the opposite. Open yourself up to other possibilities. And at least say to yourself, I think this is true, but I may be wrong. When you have that kind of clarity within yourself, then you can go out and be direct with other people. You can bring your opinion or belief to the table, but you're not married to it such that you have to fight for it. You can use a technique that Adam Grant suggested in his book, Think Again. It's called assertive inquiry. Go to the meeting or go to the conversation and assert what you think. Assert your opinion, assert your belief. However, attach inquiry to that and say, I could be wrong about that. Or what do you think? Or, hey, maybe I haven't considered everything, but this is what I'm thinking right now. By doing that, you're opening yourself up to other suggestions, to other possibilities, and you're not closed and self-righteous about what it is that you're thinking. A lot of times, because we're not clear about what's going on inside of us, we can't be direct and clear with other people. And so our defensiveness and our combativeness trumps everything else. So get clear about that so that you can be direct. A third trap that you can fall into as a leader is that you don't like conflict, so you talk to everybody else about it instead of directly to the person who needs to hear it. And you're probably sourcing your approval out there, and that's why you don't like the conflict. But friends, that leads to passive aggression, and that leads to being indirect with your communication, and as a leader, that will kill you. So instead of getting mired in this trap of I don't like conflict, and so I'm going to avoid it at all costs, instead, acknowledge your responsibility. What is your responsibility? And by definition, what isn't your responsibility? I might say right here that it's not your responsibility to manage someone else's emotions or to control how they respond to you when you're being honest with them. If conflict arises because they want to bring it to the table, that's on them. That's not on you. So being clear about that responsibility is something that's going to help drive you to be more direct with people. And if they want to bring conflict, or if they want to bring up conflict as a result, then at least you can be direct enough to bring resolution to that conflict instead of avoiding it. You don't want to be the kind of leader that talks behind people's backs because you don't like conflict. It's a trap. Don't fall for that. Friends, we need you to express your genius. You've got a unique take on this world. You've got a unique flavor that you bring to all situations, whether it's at work or home or out in the community, doesn't matter. That is your genius. That is your purpose, and we need you to express it. When you don't express it, or when you can't express it because you're not clear about what it is, or you're not clear within yourself about all the factors that are keeping you from sharing it, when that happens, we lose. So instead, work to become very clear within yourself so that you can be very direct with everybody around you. People respect those qualities in a leader, and your influence will grow. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, please hit the like button. In fact, would you do that right now? If you want to be notified about content whenever it comes out on Leadership Evolution, I hope that you'll hit the subscribe button. This channel growing is an ability for all of us in the leadership community to grow also. And I would appreciate if you would do that. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, I hope that you'll leave them in the section below. I promise you I'll answer everyone. I hope to see you in the next video. And until then, keep evolving.